The following is a production of the University of Minnesota, driven to discover.
Hi, this is David Arundel, your host for the Equity Outcomes Podcast. Thanks for spending some time with us today. In this podcast episode, we feature one of my previous publications on using a seminar approach for training student study group leaders. I hope you find it useful. In addition to the audio episode, I also provide several PDF documents. First, a copy of the original publication with all the references. Second, a copy of my course syllabus that was distributed to the students in the seminar course. In this episode, the narration is provided by two synthetic AI members of my family. Sarah will provide the questions, and Davis will provide most of the narration. Let's get started.
At the university during fall 2006, David Arundel created a college credit course to help group leaders apply educational theories during their study group sessions. This course was required of all new group leaders starting during fall semester. Rather than a didactic class format led by me as the instructor, a collaborative seminar model was employed. In the class, these students studied education theory articles and discussed how to apply this information to their weekly sessions. This understanding helped them create new learning activities not contained in the formal training program. It also made better sense of dynamics within the group and how to employ culturally sensitive learning activities. This course was part of a larger required professional development component for the study group leaders. Could you provide a short introduction to our podcast?
A new approach for providing academic support for students began during 2004 at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. The Peer-Assisted Learning (PAL) program was created to serve students in large, introductory courses that are academically rigorous. Typical classes were general chemistry, organic chemistry, and college algebra. All had rates of 30% or more final course grades of D, F, or course withdrawal. These courses were selected through discussions with the academic department chairpersons. The PAL program shares similarities with the approaches of supplemental instruction, peer-led team learning, and the Emerging Scholars Program, Arundel, 2014. Thus far, the PAL approach has improved academic performance for participating students, Chang and Walters, 2009, Edgar, 2007, and Lilly and Gojan, 2011. David Arundel was appointed to the leadership team for developing the PAL program and its training component. In the beginning, we used a standard approach to training the undergraduate students who served as PAL facilitators of these study groups. The study group leaders were selected through a competitive interview process after employment announcements had been posted on campus. The applicants were evaluated on the basis of their interest in the position, subject matter competence, communication skills, and recommendations from faculty members and others. They used the popular curriculum developed by Ross McDonald, 2000, and their own training manual, Arundel and Lilly, 2012. A 2-day training workshop occurred before the beginning of the semester for the PAL facilitators. Based on surveys of the workshop participants, results from the training program were satisfactory, but they wanted to explore other options. During fall 2006, the Campus Peer Learning Program added a 1-credit course for training the new facilitators, Arundel, 2010A. Enrollment in this course was required for PAL study group facilitators during their first semester of service at the university. David co-taught the course with my graduate assistant, Carrie Ann Edgar. The following year, she suggested employment of a seminar format for the course and use of academically rigorous articles to spur discussion for application of theory to practice. She had primary responsibility for teaching this course during the first year, and David taught it for the following 3 years. A modified version of the course now continues under a different instructor. This article provides an overview of the curriculum as David taught it with suggestions for its use by others.
Could you give me some background about this topic from the professional literature?
Through the national study of more than 160 colleges, Boylan, Bliss, and Bonham, 1997, identified the positive impact of tutor training programs upon their effectiveness in helping students earn higher grades. Other researchers have identified important components of that training. A study by Barron and Font, 1991, found understanding the underpinning theory for desired procedures led to more effective use of them. Ricks and Sheets, 1991, advocated for a holistic training agenda for tutors with attention to cognitive and student development outcomes since both were linked to higher achievement. Higbee, Arundale, and Lundell, 2005, advocated for greater understanding and application of learning theories to education practices in developmental education and learning assistance. Lipsky, 2006, describes a credit-bearing course for training study group leaders. Understanding educational theories is part of the recommended curriculum by the College Reading and Learning Association through their tutor training certification, 2014.
With this background, please provide an overview of the seminar course.
Enrollment in exploring facilitated peer learning groups is part of the professional development of PAL facilitators during their first semester of service, Arundale, 2010A. The one-credit course is free since full-time students pay the same tuition for 15 or more credit hours. It meets weekly over the academic term. PAL facilitators also participate in a 2-day training workshop before the academic term begins, attend weekly PAL team meetings with the program director and staff, and participate in other activities. Nearly all PAL facilitators are undergraduates. This course takes a different approach to continued professional development of the new PAL facilitators. The previously mentioned 2-day training workshop uses instructor demonstration and has the facilitators practice specific study group skills and strategies. This course explores peer learning groups and the educational theories that influence their effectiveness. As students learn the underlying theories, the class generates specific applications for their PAL sessions. This course provides the grounding for the procedures practiced during the initial 2-day training workshop and builds the facilitators' capacity to innovate with creating their own theory-based study group activities during the academic term. Rather than using didactic instruction, I use a seminar approach to foster more engagement of the students with the course topics, with me serving as moderator of the discussion.
What are the course learning objectives?
1. Identify and discuss the application of learning theories with peer-assisted learning groups. 2. Increase skill in small group management skills to achieve learning objectives. 3. Contextualize learning strategy modeling and instruction within the specific academic context area supported by PAL. 4. Learn to analyze the learning needs of others and make modifications to the learning environment. 5. Grow as independent learners and build upon their current strengths through development of new learning strategies. 6. Further develop intellectual skills of analysis, synthesis, critical evaluation, and application through completion of course activities. 7. Adopt new strategic learning strategies to successfully apply with course material. The course requires students to make weekly journal entries through the course website, which is only viewable by the course instructor. The entries focus on the reflections about their academic and personal changes as a result of this experience, and as the instructor, David found it useful to provide feedback based on their entries. In addition, the PAL facilitators complete an extensive end-of-term experience survey as a capstone reflection of their experience and how they changed academically and personally. David also interviewed each student for an audio episode of a course podcast which he moderated, Arundale, 2010B. Selected episodes are assigned by the PAL program director for review by facilitators.
Let's go deeper with an overview of the seminar course curriculum.
The central core of the PAL Facilitator course is discussion of educational psychology topics and their relationship to PAL activities. Each PAL facilitator is given a choice of topics for their presentation. In my case, David provided a small number of research-based articles from which to select. Following this section is a list of the topics and a choice of articles provided to them. After taking a few minutes to review the paper copies of the articles, each student selected one of the articles, and David retained the master copy. Based on it, David developed several questions for use during the class discussion following their presentation, also with my brief remarks at the beginning and end of the class session regarding the topic and application to PAL. Each student in the class was required to read only his or her article. David allowed each student 15 minutes for their assignment, approximately 8 minutes to present and 7 minutes to lead a class discussion. The focus was application of the article to PAL sessions and not analysis of the entire article, especially the research method and analysis sections. One topic was addressed each week during the 1-hour class session, with 3 students typically presenting each week. When possible, the 3 students shared on the same topic category. In addition to participating in the class discussion, students completed a short written response to the following prompts on a form David provided. A. What is something new learned from the presentation? And B. What about the speaker's presentation went well, or what could be improved? This writing activity made them accountable for actively listening to the presentation as well as providing useful feedback to the presenter, and the written feedback enhanced professional development of the presenters regarding their public speaking skills. The form was printed on 2-part carbonless paper, with the original copy being given to the presenter and the other retained by me. I also completed a form for each presenter as well. The following is an abridged list of articles from which the students chose. David placed a paper copy of each article on a table in the classroom on the first day of the course, and students were given sufficient time to briefly review the articles and then make their selection. Without prompting from me, students selected articles from all the categories. With a class size of 20, often 3 students would select from the same category.
Please give some examples of publications that students could select to explore the topics. I realize that the examples are from the time that this course was first produced. Listeners to this podcast would no doubt select more recent publications. Goal orientation category.
Elliott, E. S., and Dweck, C. S., 1988. Goals, An Approach to Motivation and Achievement. Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, 54, 1, 5-12. Gordon, S. C., Dimbo, M. H., and Josevar, D., 2007. Do teachers' own learning behaviors influence their classroom goal orientation and control ideology? Teaching and Teacher Education, 2, 36-46. Herkiewicz, J. M., Barron, K. E., Tower, J. M., and Carter, S. M., 2000. Short-term and long-term consequences of achievement goals, predicting interest and performance over time. Journal of Educational Psychology, 92, 2, 316-330. Linenbrink, E. A., 2005. The Dilemma of Performance Approach Goals, the Use of Multiple Goal Contexts to Promote Students' Motivation and Learning. Journal of Educational Psychology, 97, 2, 197-213.
Self-efficacy and belonging category.
Bong, M., 2004. Academic Motivation and Self-Efficacy, Task Value, Achievement Goal Orientations, and Attributional Beliefs. The Journal of Educational Research, 97, 6, 287-297. Prekel, F., Holling, H., and Vach, M., 2006. Academic Underachievement, Relationship with Cognitive Motivation, Achievement Motivation, and Conscientiousness. Psychology in the Schools, 4, 3, 401-411. Stevens, T., Olivares, A., Lon, W. Y., and Talent Reynolds, M. K., 2004. The Journal of Educational Research, 97, 4, 208-221.
Metacognition category.
Goose, M., Galbraith, P., and Renshaw, P., 2002. Socially mediated metacognition, creating collaborative zones of proximal development in small group problem solving. Educational Studies in Mathematics, 49, 193-223. Mayer, R. E., 1998. Cognitive, Metacognitive, and Motivational Aspects of Problem Solving. Instructional Sciences, 26, 49-63. Meverek, Z. R., 1999. Effects of Metacognitive Training Embedded in Cooperative Settings on Mathematical Problem Solving. The Journal of Educational Research, 92, 4, 195 to 205. Schurter, W. A., 2002. Comprehension Monitoring, an Aid to Mathematical Problem Solving. Journal of Developmental Education, 26, 2, 22 to 24, 26, 30, 32 to 33. Vuckman, K. B., 2005. Developmental Differences in Metacognition and Their Connections with Cognitive Development in Adulthood. Journal of Adult Development, 12, 4, 211 to 221.
Help-seeking behavior category.
Ryan, A. M., Patrick, H., and Shim, S.O., 2005. Differential profiles of students identified by their teacher as having avoidant, appropriate, or dependent help-seeking tendencies in the classroom. Journal of Educational Psychology, 97, 2, 275 to 285. Stavrianopoulos, K., 2007. Adolescence Metacognitive Knowledge Monitoring and Academic Help Seeking, the Role of Motivation Orientation. College Student Journal, 41, 2, 444 to 453. Trautwein, U., and Lucky, O., 2007. Students' self-reported effort and time on homework in 6 school subjects, between students' differences and within student variation. Journal of Educational Psychology, 99, 2, 432 to 444.
Diversity category.
Davis, J., and Martin, D., 2008. Racism, Assessment, and Instructional Practices, Implications for Mathematics Teachers of African American Students. Journal of Urban Mathematics Education, 1, 1, 10 to 34. Martin, D., 2006. Mathematics Learning and Participation as Racialized Forms of Experience, African American Parents Speak on the Struggle for Mathematics Literacy. Mathematical Thinking and Learning, 8, 3, 197 to 229. Nasir, N. S., 2002. Identity, Goals, and Learning, Mathematics and Cultural Practice. Mathematical Thinking and Learning, 4, 2 to 3, 213, 248. Nasir, N. S., Roseberry, A. S., and Lee, C. D., 2006. Learning as a Cultural Process, Achieving Equity Through Diversity. And K. Sawyer, ed., Cambridge Handbook of the Learning Sciences, pages 489 to 504. New York, Cambridge University Press. Treisman, U., 1992. Studying Students Studying Calculus, A Look at the Lives of Minority Mathematics Students in College. The College Mathematics Journal, 2, 5, 362 to 372.
Academic engagement category.
Freeman, T. M., Anderman, L. H., and Jensen, J. M., 2007. Sense of Belonging in College Freshmen at the Classroom and Campus Levels. The Journal of Experimental Education, 75, 3, 203, 220. Miller, R. B., Green, B. A., Montalvo, G. P., Ravindran, B., and Nichols, J. D., 1996. Engagement in Academic Work, The Role of Learning Goals, Future Consequences, Pleasing Others, and Perceived Ability. Contemporary Educational Psychology, 21, 388, 422.
Reflecting about the seminar approach, what did David learn and what are some recommendations for our listeners?
This approach to the class has been used since 2008. Based on our experience, David would offer the following suggestions for implementation, many of these resulting from trial and error experiences with my own seminar students. If David was still teaching the class today, he would replace some of the articles indicated earlier based on his recommendations which follow. 1. Clearly direct presenters to focus on a brief overview of the article and then spend 2/3 of their time on applying the educational theory to PAL. David noticed it was easy for the students to spend too much time describing the research study which might be interesting, but neglect enough time on the lesson learned and applications that could be made for their PAL sessions. Use time cards to help the speaker stay on time. 2. Select research articles that focus on college level or at least high school students. Otherwise, students are unsure of the applicability for their PAL sessions if they involved elementary students. While there has been a great number of publications with younger-aged students, the PAL facilitator reaction to them was lukewarm. 3. Select potential articles that might appeal to them and be appropriate. Experiment with articles of different academic rigor or amount of time spent describing educational theories. 4. The course instructor provides a brief introduction and conclusion to each class session, focusing on a clear overview of the educational theory assigned for that class period. 5. Ask the students for permission to post their presentation handouts to the course website so others in the class can reference them. 6. Prohibit students from using PowerPoint during their presentations. Instead, ask them to create a one-page handout with a summary of what they learned and a list of applications of the theory to their work as a PAL facilitator. My past experience was that students spent too much effort creating visual presentations and not enough time on making applications to PAL. 7. Provide a short overview of these education theory categories during the initial training workshop for the PAL facilitators before the academic term begins. This would help connect theory to what they were learning procedurally during the workshop. 8. If a weekly journal entry is required of the students in the class, ask them to focus specifically on that week's theoretical topic, how they are attempting to implement it within their PAL sessions, and what reactions they are receiving from the students. 9. During the first class period, the course instructor models this assignment by providing a 15-minute session on application of an education theory as described above.
What are David's concluding thoughts about the seminar for our listeners today?
The students responded well to this approach of introducing theory to the training curriculum. They displayed interest in understanding the connection between theory and the procedures of the PAL program. During the class sessions, students revealed clever and innovative thinking as they worked together using theory to generate practical applications for the PAL sessions. It taught David that a seminar approach with challenging academic material with a strong theory base can be accomplished by undergraduates and not just graduate students. The key for the students was the relevance of theory to their work.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. We will continue with future episodes that feature David's publications on increasing access and equity in the classroom and the campus. Take care.